can go ahead and slap it. Nice. Alright, so, what's your name and tell the people what you do?
My name is Giahni Bosquet, and what I do is art. I do life, I do expression, and in that space I'm like tapped into the multimedia aspect. So I love writing, I love producing, I love photography, making rugs, and just I got appreciation for beauty, and that beauty is just spelled over everything. So that's what I do. The feeling I aim to convey through the art and through the message would definitely be like a freeing feeling from vulnerability to sensitivity to sensibility. And I really want to just create a space where folks can feel how they feel in a good way, bad way, and just like giving grace for that space. But that's the feeling, for sure.
Beautiful.
I incorporate my personal experiences and my worldview into my artwork. Really, I feel like they mirror each other. I feel like my personal experience kind of reflects my artwork, for sure, as far as like the pool I pull from and inspiration I pull from, and like the world around me. I feel like I'm constantly inspired by like everything, and that just all adds to the mold, and the mold is like the art pieces. So yeah, my personal experiences and the world around me, they kind of reflect everything I'm doing. I balance the consumer side with the artistic freedom by having both of them in their own separate world. So I don't like compromise my art for the sake of the consumerism, but I understand consumerism is a formula that is necessary to even get stuff out there. So like I try to do my art as authentic and as me as possible, and then on the consumer side I just package it up to how I like it, and if they like it, they like it. If they don't, I'm just glad to get it off. With people liking and not liking my work, I feel like that part is out of my control, so I really try not to like focus on that, because I feel like I can go into a tunnel just thinking of like what other people think, and I try to like stay away from that. The challenge I say I face is, I guess, feeling if I get the point across. If I pack it up too densely, or if I water it down too much, I try to live in the middle ground for like anybody to digest it, really. So I know folks talk about if you really know something, you know how to explain it to like a growing mind as like a toddler to a fully developed mind, a grown up. And I try to stay in that world, in that middle lane, to like know that I can translate both of them. And that's what it is. I guess that's the challenge. Okay. In terms of visuals, from photography to filmmaking, I think I incorporate texture, color, and rhythm all in a gumbo pot, really. So I feel like those are three different worlds, and it's like a three-headed beast for real. And like putting it together is like a transformer. So like my attention to detail is kind of undivided on each of the levels. So from the rhythm, I feel like visually there's movement and there's rhythm in that, to the sounds that's complementing it. I feel like there's rhythm and its own movement in that, as well to like the colors and like the material and fabrics that are in the shot to what I'm wearing. I feel like just being intentional with it, I can make that whole pie and make it a whole gumbo pot. I'm thinking it helps me convey it to myself and the audience, just seeing the whole package together. So like I'm big on packaging my material, my art, before I like spill it out. And I feel like seeing an idea start off as an idea and then materialize that into the world and into like real tangible stuff, it's something that connects. To me personally, I feel like seeing that end work and seeing that end goal is something that it fills me up. So that's how I convey it, for sure. Yeah, I got the herb that ground me. I got intention, I got God. I feel like I try to be a vessel when I'm creating, and kind of let creation and the world around me just spill out through me. And that's my intention, and that's my ritual, for sure. I do believe art can bring about social change in a lot of different ways. I feel like, in a sense, the art is a mirror of like the world around us. So like cries for justice to systemic oppression and stuff. I feel like all that compiled up into a human being, and letting that go is art. So it's really hand in hand together. So I feel like just everything that's going around in the world, I feel like that's a reflection of how I'm letting stuff go and how I even approach stuff. And I feel like that anger or that feeling in general is something I spill out. And I feel like the struggle tells a story, and like the folks who have it the hardest kind of have like a lot more perspective and experience and like ways around getting the point across. And that's like the story of my life, for sure. Okay, collaborations with other artists. It does a lot to enhance the process, just of really community being like the backbone of everything. And it's just one quote I'll be hearing about, talking about if you want to go fast, go alone, and if you want to go far, go together. So I really try to like nurture and cultivate community around me, because I feel like everyone knows something I don't know, and through conversation, through engagements, and through creating, we can like add to make something even bigger. So yeah, that's something that's important to me, community for sure. So I feel like each medium kind of relates and resonates with my personal experience and like everything I'm doing, because I feel like we all, I don't know, I feel like the human brain or the human mind, the human body, the human experience is a real complex and real dense one. So I feel like there's a nuance of ways to get the point across, a nuance of ways to express yourself, and I just like to spill that out, and it comes across from the music, it comes across from the radio, from the photography and film, and making rugs and animations, and I feel like that's just, it's all of me, and I just try to let all of me go. My art has evolved and grown over time, really at the same rate as me. I feel like it reflects my growth and my evolution in a couple different ways, just from like not knowing to knowing. And as I'm growing, I feel like I'm learning more things, new ways to get a point across. I'm learning new stuff about myself, new ways to like sharpen my blade, and I feel like as that's happening, it translates directly into the art, because that's like a reflection of what I'm going through. I think I stay authentic through the saturation of music and expression and art a couple different ways. I like to remember where I came from, and I'm somebody that like came from like nothing for real, so turning that into something and like keeping that head on my shoulder as I'm like going through stuff and finding new things out, I feel like that's what takes me back home all the time. So the legacy I hope to leave behind through my artwork is a developing response. I feel like as I'm learning, as I'm like putting information in and experiencing, that's ever changing and ever reshaping. But what I can say to that right now is like I want to leave a legacy of lifestyles, a legacy that shows me like living in me entirely, outside of the music, outside of the art and expression. I feel like just standing on what I believe in and surrounding myself in principle and moral, I feel like that's a part of, or a huge piece of the legacy I want to leave, for sure. What projects I choose to leave alone and what projects I choose to pursue, that goes back to the feeling, really. I feel like it's all on the feeling. If I'm gravitating towards a certain idea, a certain project, a certain theme, I'm probably going to feed that, and I'm not going to force it though. Like there's sometimes I have like ideas and like things I want to do, but I know like I'm not at the space right now where I can do it, so like I try to develop that, or I leave it in my mind, but I know like I move closer to it as I'm working on different other things. Can I recall negative feedback or challenges having on my work? I feel like externally I block it out for sure, but like there's internal critic or internal conversation and internal conflict where I'm like my biggest critic, and I really had to like learn how to befriend myself and like give myself that grace to mess up, give myself that grace to like know that where I'm at right now isn't it, or isn't like everything. Like I know I have like a lot to develop, and that room for refinement is something I trust in 100%.
Alright, and last question.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to promote / share with the people? And
Yeah.
look at the camera for this one.
For sure. D Shades of Brown is coming sooner than you think. May 26, 2023. I hope y'all beat me there. I got visuals, I got a photo book dropping with it, I got content all around that, so we practically building the world. And yeah, that's what we're promoting. We're promoting that, for sure, for sure. I feel like, yeah, we got stuff lined up, so right now it's D Shades of Brown, but like we creating a whole bunch of other worlds right after that. And this is like really the introduction to myself and like my art and my experience, so I know it's something that's real sacred real important to me, and I'm excited as hell to share that with the world. I'm Giahni Bosquet. I'm an expressionist from Miami, Florida, and we really just taking the arts and expression to higher heights. I want to say thank you to everyone for tuning in and tapping in. Shout out to Your Support Plug for putting the platforms, giving folks to express themselves. But yeah, y'all look out for me, man. We just getting started. Deep Shades of Brown. Yeah, it's gonna be one of the ones. Promise that.
Deep shades, baby, deep shades. Deep shades of love, deep shades of life. Get at me. Yeah. Look, I got my vices in my left hand. Bad bitch on my right. We gon' be alright long as that candy playing. Yeah. She said I could spend the night if I don't keep her waiting. But patience my favorite virtue, baby. I got it bad, but after that I probably hurt you emotionally. All my feelings running in circles. My heart is blue and purple. That's why I keep my vices in my left hand. Bad bitch on my right. We gon' be alright long as that money coming.